Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm working on a 2008 Dodge Ram. It's a 3500 dually, and this is my truck. I bought it at the auction a while back, and I didn't think it was gonna need that much work. I didn't think it was gonna need that much work. I thought if I paid a few couple of hundreds of dollars in it, or thousands of dollars in it, I would have a good running truck. But little that I know, this truck needed way more work than what I was expecting. And let me give you a rundown. I'm fixing to pull that engine out of there. The truck still runs and drives, but the engine, it never got hot on me, but the engine had a head gasket issue. As you can see, this engine had been leaking water for a while, and I think everything started at the water pump, but whoever had it before, they just keep driving it and not fixing the leak, so they just keep adding, I'm gonna say, top water and all the coolant. There was no coolant in it. There was just rusty water. So when I first got it, I was like, no big deal. I'm gonna flush it, and I'm gonna put some fresh coolant in it. So I flushed it like 3 times, and the water was still coming. It was still coming rusty, like brown. So what I did, I just added this system right here. I added this system and a filter, coolant filter, and I installed it right here, and this helped me a lot. This filter helped me a lot. This is the third filter I run in it, and my coolant is looking pretty good. See, it used to be brown, but now it's looking green, so the filter is doing its job. So I'm gonna have to remove this engine out of here, and fix the head. This truck is really nice on the outside, and it's pretty clean on the inside too. And I drove it for a while. It runs good, but I could never get the truck to aligned. I couldn't get an alignment because when I bought it at the auction, they did not state that this truck has some frame damage. As you can see, there's a kink right there. It's hard to see, but it's there. So this truck will never be able to be aligned correctly, you know. So not only it has an engine issue, it has a frame issue, and also whoever, it's got a flat bed, but whoever did this job, if you're watching, let me tell you, you suck. Whoever did this job, and if you're watching this video, I just want to let you know that you suck, and you should never be allowed to work on cars. But you see what they did? They weld the gooseneck to the frame. It has no bolts, not even one bolt, and they use an angle iron. They could have used a flat bar, but they decided to go with an angle iron, and that put the bed higher than usual, and that's why they had to add those 2x4s. And I think on one side, the 2x4 is already coming out. I think it's on the other side, but they suck at doing this job. So anyway, so I'm gonna get rid of this bed. The transmission is already out. The transmission has a bad bearing inside, so it will have to be pulled apart and replace all bearings. all the bearings. But I'm not fixing to do that. And the transfer case was damaged. I had a crack, and I could never stop leaking. I could never stop the transfer case from leaking. So it was a crack on the housing. So it's not. I mean, if you have to change the housing, you might as well replace the whole transfer case. So anyway, it's got a bad transfer case. It's got a not a bad transmission, but a bad bearing inside the transmission. It's got a head gasket issue. The bed is horrible. They did a horrible job on the bed. And sometimes I feel like I got robbed. Yeah. I think I bought a lemon. But anyways, I got a lot of money tied up in this truck. I'm gonna have to make it run. I'm gonna have to bring it back to specs. And what I did, I went to the auction and bought this truck right here. I already pulled the cap, and I pulled the engine, transmission. It's over here. And I'm not only fixing this truck, but I'm gonna make it better. As you can see, I got the spring leaves in here from a Dodge Ram 4500. So I'm reinforcing the rear, and in the front. And the front, I'm gonna redo the whole suspension. The suspension is shock, so I'm gonna redo the suspension. And like I said, I bought that white truck at the auction. Surprisingly, it ran and drove, that truck, but it had a bad frame, as you can see. Somebody tried to repair it. You can see that's a stress crack right there. So I'm thinking they were hauling some pretty heavy trailers. They were probably doing hot shots on this truck, and it caused the frame to break. So I went and got another frame, and I already transferred everything. You know, I know it's got a good running engine, it's got a good transmission, and it's got a good transfer case. So that's my project going on right now. And I just wanted to make this video just to let you know, guys, whenever you go to the auctions, a lot of these companies, they're just they're brutal. They don't disclose everything when they run the cars. A lot of these companies, they're not out there to sell your car. They're out there to rip you off. And I'll probably be naming some of these companies that I know for a fact they're buying junk. I don't know if you've seen a lot of these people advertising, we buy junk cars. Well, some of these people that are buying junk cars are running it through the auctions, and they literally junk. So I feel like I got ripped off, but it is my fault too. I didn't go to check out the truck. I should have just gone and look at the truck, maybe start it up, look at the frame, you name it. You know, you do have to do your homework when you're buying a car, or otherwise you're gonna end up like me. So, but at this point, at first I was intimidated by this job. It looks very, very hard to do, but once I started taking it apart, there's really nothing to it. I mean, it just takes a lot of hours. But just to remove this differential, all I had to do was remove this bolt right here, the shock right there, and that bolt, and remove the on the other side the same thing, the dry shaft, and then just remove the dry shaft, and the whole thing comes out. Over here, I removed the cab, and I pulled the whole thing, the engine and transmission. I pulled the whole thing out, and I set it on the new frame, and that was it. And on the front, I just all I had to do was remove this bolt and this bolt right here, and the shock, and undo the steering in the front, and that's it. This differential came right out. So it is very intimidating. It is a lot of work. Over here too, the cab, to remove the cab, all you got to do is undo these lines, the harness. You got to undo the steering. The steering, I'm almost done with it. I'm gonna put a new steering box on this one, because can you see that? You see all that play? It's got a lot of play. That's one of the reasons why I couldn't get it aligned either. But you remove the steering, brake lines, heater hose lines, and your AC compressor lines. And you have to undo the emergency brake at the bottom, and that's it. Oh, and inside you have to take the stick shift out, and then the whole cab will come out. Of course, once you remove all these bolts right here. There's 3 on this side, 4 on this side, and 4 on the other side, and that's it. This cab is almost ready to be off. It's gonna be off, and with this truck, it's shock. It's got the bed issue. It's got the transfer case issue. It's got the transmission issue, and it's got the head gasket issue. So the only thing I can think of is the cab. The cab is the only thing that is good, everything else is shock. Transfer had a crack and it leaked fluid all the time. Transmission has a bad bearing, so the whole transmission has to be disassembled. And the engine has an overheating issue. It never got hot on me, like I said, but it's gonna have to be addressed. Once this engine is out, I'm gonna remove the head. I'm gonna send it to the machine shop, and I'm gonna put a new gasket in it. I'm gonna save this engine. This engine is well worth fixing than buying another one. There's zero blow by in it, zero blow by, so it's a good engine. But I just want to let you know what I'm doing, and this is the before, and I'll probably make another video for the after and see what it looks like. But yeah, just be careful, guys. When you're buying cars at the auction, there's a lot of companies out there that they're screwing people up left and right, and they don't care. It seems like they are allowed to do it, because every time you try to complain, hey, you didn't disclose this in here, they're like, well, that's your problem. You already bought it. You already paid for it. They don't care. So they just take your money and leave you stranded with the problem. And plus, you have to do your homework. You have to go look at these vehicles. You have to go. You can't always go to the auctions, because some of these auctions most of these auctions run online, and a lot of the times they're not local. They'll be like in different cities, so it's kind of hard to drive 3-4 hours to that city to look at a car, come back and wait the next day for the auction to run, and then you already spend like half a day or a whole day looking at this car, and when you come back, you probably don't even win the auction. You probably don't even win the car. So it is kind of hard. A lot of times you have to go by what they're saying, you know, and by the pictures, and companies too. There's some companies out there that they don't care. They selling repos, they're selling new cars, they're selling wrecked cars, they're selling junk, they're selling lemons. But a lot of times they're not gonna tell you, yeah, this is a lemon car, this is a lemon vehicle, it's being flooded and it smells like rat's ass. They don't disclose none of that. That's why you have to do your homework. But at this point, I gotta get this truck running. I got way too much money invested in it, and I really like to get this truck to good use. And once it's running good and everything's fine, I'll probably be selling it and buying something newer. I really like this truck, and I got a lot of money in it. I did buy me another truck at the auction, but that's another story. That's a different whole story right there. That's my Ram 2015, and it's got cosmetic issues, but other than that, it's a good truck. Alright guys, just wanted to let you know what I'm doing, and just be careful out there. If you like this video and it's helpful for you, just like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments, guys, if anybody has done this kind of job. Everybody think I'm crazy. They're like, why are you doing this? You should just scrap the truck. Why are you doing all this work? It's not worth it. But to me, even after I'm done with this truck, I can probably still sell it for like $18,000. Trucks now these days are expensive. The dealers, most of the dealers, even for a fairly used truck, not a new truck, but maybe like a 2021, 2022, they're still pretty high. They asking like 45, 50, up to $60,000 for a truck, you know. And forget about the new ones. The new ones, they're like $80,000, $100,000 for a new truck. So I think I'd rather fix this one than go out and spend $80,000. So it is a lot of work. I was intimidated by it, but now that I've been working on it for a while, I should be done this week. There's really nothing to it. It's just a bunch of bolts and nuts to remove. But thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you on the next one.